Welcome to RVing for Newbies, where we take your RV knowledge to a new destination.
RV Mentor, RVing for Newbies, ethics disclaimer. All the tools being used, the items being installed, or reviewed were purchased by RV Mentor. The only exceptions will be denoted in the next slide in this video, giving the name of the manufacturer, the items, and how they were acquired, donated, etc. The things stated in this video are the opinions of RV Mentor and are just that, opinions, but are based on 13 years of being an RV owner and being an RV inspector. Let's get on with the video.
Welcome to electricity, alternating current. We're quickly going to talk a little bit about volts. When people are talking about volts, you'll hear them say 110, 115, 120, 220, 230, or 240. When I'm talking about volts for this lesson, I will use 120 and 240 as the numbers. First, because it makes for easy math, and ideally, that is the voltage you should see in your RV from shore power and your generator. Safety. Safety is our number one thing when we're talking about electricity. It is of the utmost importance. You don't want to get shocked when you're working on your RV. You don't want your family members to get shocked either. One of the things we will talk about later in the video is called a hot skin condition. And I'll give you a great explanation of exactly what that is and how you don't want to touch the outside of your RV and know that it's electrified and you feel a tingle. Anytime you're feeling a tingle, that's a bad thing. It only takes 20 milliamps, which is 20 thousandths of an amp, to cause your hand to clamp down and you will not be able to let go of an energized wire. Think about that. On a 20 amp circuit, the breaker will not pop before you're being shocked. 30 milliamps can cause your heart to go into fibrillation, also known as irregular heartbeat, and it can kill you. It doesn't take much to kill you. Things to keep in mind when working with alternating current. Number 1, unplug shore power. Number 2, ensure your generator is turned off. Number 3, if your RV can automatically start the onboard generator when shore power drops or is disconnected, turn that off. Number 4, power off your inverters. All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about the two different types of voltmeters that we got here. We have the cheaper one on the left, which is just an RMS voltmeter. And we have the one on the right, which is a true RMS. And we'll talk a little bit about how they're different and why it's important. So first off, let's take a look. Up at the upper end of the table, we have a 300 watt modified sine wave inverter, and we have a 300 watt pure sine wave inverter. The red and black one is pure. The plain black one is a modified sine wave. Now, I talked a little bit prior to this about why that's important, but let's recap. Certain items like motors, sensitive electronics, expect a pure sine wave. That's what you get like out of your house. That's what you should get out of your generator. When you're converting battery power, which is what these inverters do, 12 volt battery power to 120 volts AC. Two types, modified, pure, when it comes to sine waves. So let's take a look at the voltmeters, also known as multimeters, and how they react differently, whether they're an RMS or a true RMS, to modified versus pure sine wave. And let's take a look. So we're going to go first with looking at the modified sine wave. They're both 300 watts. All right, we're going to plug this into our battery. Okay, it comes on, gets you a green light, tells you it's ready. So let's set our voltmeter to AC, and we're going to take our probes, put them into, notice the red one goes on the right, also known as the smaller of the two when it comes to a polarity plug. Okay, so if it's upside down, it'll be on the left. All right, and let's see what kind of voltage we got. Look at it, it's crazy. It's bouncing everywhere. 90.4, 35.1, 36, 5.7. What in the world is going on here? When you're looking at modified sine waves, it is not a nice, smooth curve. It is choppy, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing on the voltmeter there. Okay, so now you see how it works on a regular RMS. Let's take a look at a pure RMS meter, and let's see how this works with that one. So let's go to volts AC. We go the red one on the right, the black one on the left, and what are we seeing? 110.4. Pretty consistent. It's really not moving. So what does that tell you? That tells you that a cheaper multimeter will let you be able to differentiate between a modified and a pure sine wave. Whereas the more expensive ones that has a clamp meter on this one also cannot tell you the difference. That's why I have both. Do I really need to know the difference? Do most people need to know the difference between modified and pure sine wave? Maybe, maybe not. It's entirely dependent on what you're trying to prove. I want to know so that my computers, things of that sort, I know we're getting pure electric, pure sine wave, and not a modified. All right, so let's take a look at the other one next. All right, let's take a look using our RMS meter, the less expensive one. Same as before, red in the smaller probe, and we're showing about 108.6, 108.7, 9, relatively consistent. This is our pure sine wave. So even with our less expensive one, it says it's good, which is what we expect versus what we were seeing when we used the modified sine wave. So let's take a look with the other one now. All right, now that we're hooked up to our pure sine wave, we're looking at the true RMS meter, and we got 108.7, pretty consistent. And that's what you should expect. On a pure sine wave, either of those meters will give you the same kinds of readings. There won't be bouncing around. The only time it's an issue is when you're using a modified sine wave inverter, and your less expensive one, your cheaper one, multimeter will give you a true reading of showing it's bouncing around all over the place.